Aunt Patty's on the square. Park County's oldest antique mall, with 22 years on the southeast corner of the square. We have 25 dealers who take great pride in stocking and maintaining their booths. In 7,500 square feet, you can find almost everything from the smallest penknife to great jewelry, vintage coins, sports cards, dishes like Grandma had, all the way to a large piece of furniture. We're open 7 days a week. Our hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sunday, noon to 5.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I will call this meeting to order, and Luke, you're up.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
We've got a full house here tonight. How about that? That's a good thing, right? It's the 5th of July, so a lot of people are probably on vacation, but this is a great turnout, don't you think?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, yes.
So, yeah, good deal. Well, my name's Luke, and I'm a member of this community. I'm a resident here, and Rockville is home to me. I'm just going to run through a couple of quick introductory things just to kind of clear the air about who I am and what my agenda is. I grew up here, I live here, I work here, I play here. I have a lot of really good friends here, longtime friends, and my family is actually here tonight, and I'm really grateful for them. So I care about this place, I care about the quality of life, and I care about our town's future. And I'm not young, I'm 30, but I'm pretty young to care about the future, right? Like I should just be out there just cashing it in, doing whatever, but I'm here tonight in front of you all because there's some big things at play in our community right now. And it's really cool because our community has come a long way in the last few years. We've got new businesses popping up, hometown businesses. We have a lot of community involvement. And some of those successes include things that you all have been a part of or heard about, like the Depot Visitor Center. That happened maybe 8 years ago. The Howard Avenue project is recent. Market Street Housing, it has just gone in, and people are leasing that now. Good or bad, whatever you all's opinion on, it's good that we have housing, so that's huge for our town. The co-working space for entrepreneurs and small businesses, the list goes on and on. The library's doing great things, and the park is great. My kids go there every day to swim at the pool. So this is a great place to live and to raise a family and to call home. But we can't stop there. It's really important now more than ever that we keep this momentum going. We are at risk of potential situations right now that could erode some of the quality of life that we care so much about in this town and why we've chose to live here. And that's kind of the intro to my topics tonight. The Dollar General Commercial Rezone is the first item, and that's under kind of the planning and zoning category. The second one is the Jefferson Street Reconstruction Project under kind of roads and infrastructure. And the third is the York Street parking lot, which is kind of a placemaking and public space topic. So I'll just jump right in. Who all is here for the Dollar General? Sweet. That's great. This is a good turnout for that. Well, just to let you know, this isn't the meeting to really voice your concern. That meeting is the BZA meeting on the 28th, so really come to that one. But this one kind of sets the stage for that meeting because now the council is fully aware of the community input and the community backing for this project, good or bad. The location here is on Ohio Street. You're all familiar with this, across from Benjamin's. Great pancakes at Benjamin's. Love taking my kids there. And some of you may have seen this floating around the internet, or it may have been on a flyer. And I'll own up to the fact that I created this as a way to generate public interest and input because we don't get a lot of that right now in a way that's meaningful. This went around and over 400 people saw this thing on the internet, and now you guys are all here. You're a fraction of that, but the voices online is a huge indicator of our town's interest, and even though they're not here, you're a representation of that, so thank you for being here. And you probably also saw the back. There's some things that, how did we get here, kind of lack of public awareness or just general, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons for why we're here and why Dollar General is choosing to find a spot in our town that's not even zoned properly. And there's some things that we can do to mitigate that and move forward, and those are identified here quickly, but I'll just jump right into it. The residential neighborhood is at risk of unplanned and unwanted commercial development. I think you guys can all agree with that, especially the 5 or 6 directly adjacent property owners that are here tonight. I believe if you're an adjacent property owner, could you raise your hand? Perfect. So there's at least 3 and maybe 4 or 5 are also being represented in other ways. So right now, our zoning policy is very basic and very minimal, and that's okay for a town our size, right? Because we want to encourage growth, we want to encourage development, but not in an unplanned and kind of haphazard way. So what can we do as a town board, as a town council, to empower the BZA to do this better? That's the point of this conversation and why I'm bringing it to you guys, because you're kind of the umbrella group that delegates this out. So that's why I'm here tonight, Dave, is to let you guys know that you hold the keys to being able to let the BZA drive the car. So right now, we need to implement some smart growth strategies. We want to support business. We care about groups like Dollar General because our town, we've already got 1 in town, we've got 4 others in the county, and we've got a couple other local stores that do the same thing, but hey, we want more jobs and more tax base. That's not a bad thing, right? So supporting the workers, supporting the residents, supporting the quality of life, all of that's really good. And we want to continue to encourage that, but we want to do it in a way that makes sense. So how do we do that? Some short-term steps. Identify available properties for growth. Like, we don't need to tear down a building that's a house in a nice piece of our town that it could go easily 5 or 6 other properties in town. So how do we find a way to do that? We communicate with other local agencies, partners, people like Cindy Todd, Partnership Park County, Redevelopment Commission, things like that, who can help inventory these properties. Take a survey of who would be open to selling if the right buyer came along, and encourage development to happen where it's supposed to and plan it out ahead of time. So that's a short-term thing. We can do that right now. We can retain Dollar General if we want to keep this thing in our town, but just locate them somewhere else. Like, we can shop our town to them, because Dollar General is not bad, right? Like, I go there all the time. We get groceries there sometimes. We get things for birthday presents there, all kinds of stuff. So that's the quick step. I would encourage you guys to support the BZA in doing that. That's the point. Support the BZA in doing their job. Then the next step is a bigger picture thing. So does anybody know what our zoning map looks like? Has anybody ever seen a copy of our zoning map? If you're not on the town. If you're not on the town council, have you seen a copy? Do you know where to go to look to find a copy? Has anybody ever tried or ever cared enough to try to find a copy? Okay, all of those things are important questions because you're here tonight because of the zoning issue. So the BZA and the Planning Commission should find a way to update that or critically look at that, get your opinions as the town, as a community, and find ways to improve the land use of our town. This is a way to do that. Update the zoning map. Bigger picture, longer term, a UDO, which is Unified Development Ordinance. Cindy Todd was going to elaborate on this a little bit, but unfortunately she couldn't be here tonight due to family situation. So I've talked to her extensively, and she's a great advocate. She cares about this town. Use her as a resource for these kinds of questions because I haven't. It's been great. But a UDO is a legal planning document that combines all the different ordinances in town related to development, stormwater management, commercial growth, residential growth, things like that. It's meant to help guide the town's growth, not to restrict you as a landowner. It's meant to help people determine where they can put their fence in their front yard. Not to say you can't put one in or that you shouldn't, but put it somewhere where it's nice for not just you, but the people walking down the street. I try to push my stroller down the street with my kids, but then somebody's bringing their kids the other way, and if I'm slammed up against this fence over here, right on the edge of this 5-foot sidewalk, like, that's not helpful, and I can kind of go around. So stuff like that, fences, Front yards, like kind of the buffer yard and the side yard, we don't want to build right on property lines. That's not good either. And bigger picture, some of those situations have happened in town, and you can see where that is. And it's because of a lack of forethought and planning 10, 15 years ago. So all of those are things that are important, and there's some more strategies there as well. We don't have to get into them right now. But I have talked to quite a few people, and everybody cares about this. They don't know how to handle it, but everybody cares about it. So I'm not going to dwell on this, but a lot of you are here right now. So everybody that's here for the zoning piece, if you don't care about anything else I have to say, you can leave right now and go have a good night. If you want to stay, you're welcome to, but now's your chance. So the next thing is roadway and infrastructure. The Jefferson Street reconstruction project is a good thing, first and foremost. It's a good thing, and this is what it looks like now. Isn't that awesome? I took that this morning, Park.
Uh-huh.
I saw you out there. You were kind of getting ready to go with some of the other guys. So I didn't wave because I was kind of trying to be sneaky and take my pictures. But
That's a good picture. I mean,
yeah,
that's
it's a blue sky. It looks nice.
sky's pretty.
Yeah, but you're going to have a road there that's going to be really nice after the fact. But I'm a professional, not an engineer. I'm a landscape architect. We work very closely with engineers to design public roads, sidewalks, trails, and things like that that help the public infrastructure for safety and improved welfare of communities. So there's a few things on this plan that I wish as a citizen I could have voiced my concerns about. But unfortunately, it's already under construction, and there wasn't a lot of opportunity to voice my concerns about these issues. The people are not prioritized, the cars are. You've got bump outs and things that are really wide for big cars and trucks and stuff, which we have a lot of, and that's fine. But the pedestrian corridors are not prioritized. So
What do you
that's
mean? I
something.
mean, when you say that, I mean, we
Well,
have sidewalks; they're wide. We
I
have
get that.
ADA ramps.
Yeah.
What we miss?
We can talk more on the details if you want, but I think these people want to talk more about the
Okay.
bigger picture things,
I'll
so
shut up.
we can dig into that later. I'd love to have more conversations about it. So, right now, I think we have a huge opportunity to learn from this and move forward with some action steps. Just like with the zoning issues, there's action steps, right? So a quick one would be to establish some kind of board or overseeing committee, strategic committee, to review these things. Who's reviewing the current plans right now? I think it's the people in this room. But there's just like zoning, and just like the Parks Department, and just like, let's see, water quality, sewer, storm and drainage board. Those are all boards that see areas of our town's success. We don't have that for one of the biggest components of our town's infrastructure, and that's the roads. Nobody's reviewing that at a level that's detailed enough. And I think we can agree that we need more of that. We need more oversight locally to do that. And I'm not saying it has to be some outside consultant. All the information, all the people here are capable of doing that. But we just need more eyes on it.
What's the issue at the top right picture?
So this is the new
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah, the
ADA ramp.
wonderful ADA ramps that NDOT put in. The reason that those are images on here is because that if you had a local board or just a committee that NDOT could relay information to, they could provide recommendation on how that goes in. NDOT can slam something down and say, we're doing this, but you as a town have the ability and authority
That's pretty much what they
to
did.
push back.
Yeah.
So I've been on a lot of NDOT projects, worked on some major projects, and you can control how this stuff goes in. And this lady right here, she just literally was walking, I watched her walk across the street around this little fence thing, which, I mean, Colin's truck could probably knock it over in 5 seconds, right? So it's going to happen. That will get knocked over and rebuilt time and time again, and that's frustrating. My kids, when I walk to the park, this is our route right here. We have to cross the street this way. This sidewalk goes east to west.
It's on 36.
So
Yeah, again, as an NDOT came through, redid all our
That's right.
ADA ramps.
that's right. But if there was a local board or oversight committee of some sort that you as a council could tell NDOT, hey, talk to these people, because they're in charge of reviewing any plans in our infrastructure, that's a huge thing. And then I could feel even more comfortable and safe that my kid can ride his bike to the park in a nice and easy way. So, quick things, bigger picture, thoroughfare plans, bike and pet master plans. Like, I know you guys don't like the plan. There's not a lot of planning documents here. There's some good planning documents, but long term, more and more of this can happen to set up the stage for the next 10, 20, 30 years and have an order to how some of these things happen in a more strategic way.
What's that doc? I can't think of it. We've been talking about redoing a comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
We haven't done one since, I don't know, when last we,
2014.
Yeah, we need to redo that.
Yeah.
And then use it.
Yep, that's right. And then actually implement it. So all of those would be components that feed into that comp plan. And that's it on infrastructure. So thanks for everybody who's here for that. You guys can leave now. The last thing is, am I doing good on time?
You're doing great.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's a lot, 15 minutes.
All right, last thing. This is a big one. The York Street parking lot. Parks building for the antique store looks right across from it every day, and I think it'd be great to have more parking in town. It's right next to the Community Foundation, really, really close to downtown. There's a couple other buildings around. I don't know them. You guys know where this is at. It's the old Jackson Jacks building, which is now gone. So right now they're staging equipment there for the project on Jefferson Street, but this is what we have to work with. Our town owns this property, and they are deciding currently to build a parking lot there. So I would love to know if anybody out here thinks we need more parking in town. Okay, we need more parking. Good. Do you guys agree we need more parking? Okay. Do we need it all in one spot, or do we need it kind of distributed out through town, distributed out within a block or two of downtown? So people from this corner, if they want to go to the Sentinel, they would have to walk all the way around the square. Or if they want to come here as a citizen or as a worker in the town office, they would have to walk all the way around here. And that's a couple blocks. But that's okay. We've packed 25 spaces in. We've got more parking. When I did a count on the Jefferson Street project, there's 20 spaces on street that they're going to get out of that yield. Right, 20, 25-ish. If you take that block and you replicate that, say 20 to 25 spaces within a block of downtown everywhere, you've got upwards of 250 parking spaces that you can get just by striping parking on all of the on-street locations. So that's just something to think about. Already infrastructure in place, roads, it's already there. Right now the issue, in my opinion, with this property that I think the town needs to consider is to prioritize on-street parking around this area, but let this property be something more than that. Right now it's too valuable to be turned into a parking lot. There's a lot of good things happening in communities around the state where they're converting abandoned lots, abandoned properties into public space, into places that we can gather, places that we can take our kids or my parents or grandparents, aunts and uncles, family members and friends, have coffee, things like that, and gather together. So right now, here's our opportunity. It's this property right here. There's a vacant lot that's a part of the old National Bank property that's currently for sale, then another vacant building and another vacant lot, and you're at the town square. Jefferson Street is kind of overlaid right here, just for context, and then there's other parking in around there. And this is currently an illustration of what is being proposed. Asphalt parking, minimal landscaping. They just pushed for a clock tower. I think we can do that. But on a basic level, this is kind of it. I mean, who's been on vacation recently or ever, and they've been somewhere that they really like, and they don't really know why but it's just nice, and they want to go back and visit it again and again. There's parks, there's trails, there's things that connect you to downtown. Michigan does a great job of this. We were just in South Carolina, some really cool places there. Even in our own town, or our own state, they have things like this. So I think we could do that here. Does anybody else think we could have another park downtown versus a parking lot? Parking lot? What do you think, Park?
Well, you know, the whole motivation behind this is to address a couple of different interest groups. Main Street, anybody here from Main Street? One. Main Street was a driving factor on looking for more parking. And that's kind of how this project sort of evolved.
Cool.
Well,
So,
That's good, that's perfect. So to keep going on that, you could even tear down another building while we're at it. And I think this one might
wait,
be.
slow down.
This one could even help if the town is interested in purchasing this building, which I've heard through the grapevine that that's a possibility maybe. So there's things like that that could happen. And you could expand this and it could be a destination. Anybody been to Crawfordsville recently?
Can I interject something
Yeah,
here
for
just
sure.
real quick? Go back one on that slide. Are we doing anything with that bank overhang there? Are we gonna tear that down eventually? Is that,
That's
That's
private
private
property.
property.
That's private property.
so someone owns that bank overhang?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, that's private property. And this outline in green, that's also private property.
Okay.
But as a planner and a designer and a public space creator, there's a lot of things you can do to make things like this happen
Yeah.
on a town level. And so I think it's possible that negotiations could be made to kind of trade or swap things. If you get a developer that wants to buy that old National Bank property, you could leverage them to relinquishing this access and this drive right here back to the town because the town's making it more appealing for them to develop, right? There's mechanisms and levers that can be pulled to do that. But you get something like this when you're done. You get something like Bicentennial Park in Mooresville, which is amazing. They have a sculpture. That's where the flag for the state was made. So they have a sculpture kind of around the flag. Market Street Park in Huntingburg, Indiana. I was on that design team. Really cool bench swings for their plaza there. Pike Place in Crawfordsville. That's the closest one. If you guys haven't been, go visit that. They do a lot of things there. Richmond has a great like kind of bubbler jet splash pad and area for families to gather. Really cool stuff.
Which, interestingly enough, speaking of bicentennial, that's coming up in 2 years.
That's right.
And I'm looking for a wall or some
That's
spot
right.
for a mural depicting our
Yeah.
200-year history.
That would be great. I think this is a great spot for that. And you saw those pictures of butterfly. It doesn't have to be a butterfly, right? It's whatever. Like you can do something cool there. But here's some action steps. If you guys really think this is a good idea, I'm just the messenger. These are my opinions. You can do whatever after this meeting, but if you really want to do something that's memorable here, these are some things to do. Stop the parking lot design right now. Conduct a parking analysis of downtown and include the half block that we just acquired as a town with the REMC property, because even if you put departments in these buildings, you've still got, in some of the outbuildings back here, you put police in there, or some of the fire and utility, you still can plan that so daytime, nighttime use occurs with the businesses around town, and you can have circulation, so you can still get your parking that you want out of a parking lot here because you have a half block. You can also consider the new Market Street parking that's going to go in, and you can include the one block in each direction of downtown. All of that will get you the parking yields that Main Street cares about, right? That's important. So prove that parking here exists, and prove that you have enough. Then create some kind of civic task force. You gonna be on it with me, Chad? You gonna be on the task force to see if we can build a park?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. The feasibility of this of this place for a park. Work with people at the state level, with Okra. I know Denny Spinner at Okra, so those are great resources to have to make this thing happen. And then for Liddy, we can dedicate Heritage Commons or Park Plaza or something like that here in 2 or 3 years for the 200th year birthday of Rockville. And then we can all bring our kids there and grandkids there and hang out.
Okay.
That's what I got. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. So,
Yeah. Any questions from the audience or from the council here, really quickly, and then we'll let them get back to it.
There has been a parking problem, the main street, particularly. It has to do with large super pickup trucks.
Sticking out, yeah.
They park right on the, and you, once they get in there, there's no way of getting by them. I don't know whether that's,
Especially if they're gonna pull them on the street.
they got that, they have the tow package on the back. It's really a parking problem.
I agree. Luke had mentioned, we're talking about, obviously there'll be more space on Jefferson. York will add angle parking on York. So we will have parking without the parking lot too. But the one thing I would say to keep in mind, with the park, and I love its design, believe me, it's nice, but we're gonna struggle maintaining it. We're gonna struggle paying for it. And we can do this, but we gotta save and plan for it. And I don't think it'll happen in 2 years. It'd be great to have it for the bicentennial, but I don't think, we'd really have to move some money around and.
Well, one thing at a time.
That's what I'm saying.
That slide, there is a money slide on there. And
There is.
I can send you guys the link to this.
Okay.
But there's $20 million of ready funds that were just became available in our area. Some of those are already allocated to projects. Some of them are not. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Isn't most of that staying in Vigo County, though?
What's that?
Isn't most of that staying in Vigo
I
County?
think there's $250,000 that's coming to Billy Creek.
This is not.
Did they get it? Did they?
Yeah, they did. Yep. And there's a lot more money coming in, guys. There's more money floating around here than ever before. So I don't think money's going to be a problem. I think it's.
Well, as far as design of parking lot, what you've seen is pretty much what's done. There's really no more design going on from what has been done. It's pretty basic as you indicated. So there's nothing going on there. But you certainly presented some interesting alternatives, Lou. Gives us something to talk about.
Some of us will be back. So tonight, I appreciate you guys coming out. Definitely come to the BZA meeting coming up on the 28th. That's where your voices are really going to matter. But this hopefully helps give you the tools to represent that meeting well. So thank you.
I'm gonna shake your hand, but.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep.
I'll move it. Working with the people.
Where are we at here?
Okay.
It's Chris here.
Thanks again,
Chris is
Luke.
here. Chris O'Brien, he's behind the window. Black shirt.
So we're talking Chris O'Brien.
Chris O'Brien is here.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah. O'Brien?
Yep.
Hey, my name's Chris O'Brien. I'm the Emergency Management Agency Director. And the county received was awarded a grant to write the hazardous mitigation plan. You guys did this in 2008, 2016. And I'm looking for the folks here at the town board to nominate somebody or to select somebody to be on the planning committee. This person should have an understanding of like what the town can do and not want to do, and also have a kind of an understanding of some of the hazards that we are confronted with. And I'm not looking for an answer right now. I just finished with the commissioners and I'm on my way to Marshall. But if you guys have any questions, you can ask me now, or you can send me an email or call me.
So 4 meetings over 18 months.
Yes.
2 hours each. Boy, you're detailed here.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Statement of work.
commitment's right up front there. Okay.
And I do want to emphasize there's a difference between the planning group, which are people that I like to say, have money and power, as opposed to stakeholders, who would be the people out there who could contribute information, but you need people that actually make decisions and can say, hey, yeah, Rockville wants this, and they're willing to do this and that.
So basic knowledge of threats and hazards.
Yeah. Tornadoes, floods.
Storms, floods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think about it, just what our county's a pretty safe place. There's not that many
Yeah,
hazards.
we're fortunate.
Yeah, we are fortunate.
Okay,
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
thanks.
Thank
See you,
you.
Chris.
Nick,
So,
you want to talk about this?
yeah.
What we got? What you got first?
Well, so I have an ordinance that I've drafted, but that was in regards to the ARP funds. I'm not certain. I talked to Cindy as far as if that's what she needed or not. I sent minutes from back in December.
You should
that
have
the
a copy
one?
of those.
You
Is
guys
that the
were
one-
talking about doing a bonus out of the ARP funds.
Well,
Is that-
comp time.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that meets what you're wanting to do or not.
So this one has not been signed?
No,
Nothing's
that's
been-
just a
okay.
proposed one for the council to look
Okay.
at as far as ARP funds and as far as distribution to your, law enforcement and fire department.
Well, we did the one at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So
Yes.
I don't.
And that's
know.
what this is. That's what this reflects.
Okay. So I didn't know if you'd already done it or not.
No, we
Nobody
did.
indicated it to me.
We didn't pay the first one out in the first of the year.
We talked about it, but we didn't do it. You guys haven't gotten any of your comp time paid down.
Not comp time. This is the bonus. You guys,
Oh, yes.
all public safety. That's what this is addressing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cindy was looking for the 59,000 to support, right?
Right. You wanted documentation
ARPA.
support what we're going to do with the 59,000, 500,000 the ARP funds we're using for the water project. Well, yeah. This states what.
So that was in regards to what I saw out of the minutes as far
Okay.
as a bonus to law enforcement and the fire department.
So we're talking doing on.
But I don't know if you already paid that or
Well, the
that's-
January 27, 2020, that was a one-time 2,000 bonus to all public safety individuals. Yeah.
So I guess I'm not certain what you're wanting from me because the minutes I was.
Well, this is kind of past. This happened in January.
Right. Correct.
So we just wanted documentation what we did. We can date it for today.
You could, yeah, if that's what you're wanting. That is documentation for.
Well, she said we needed it.
Okay.
So
So I didn't know the answer as to whether that had already been paid out or hadn't been.
that has comp time. We've never got the figures on.
So that would cover what has been paid out then. for
So we need to.
that amount of money, if
to-
that's what she was wanting.
So I'm. Yeah. This is good then. That's what this is doing. So we have.
Because it all has to be documented.
Yeah.
We went through this last week, so.
Okay. So I move.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
All right. Now we have.
Same day, same meeting, and then, but you guys had already talked about this December 21st of last year, I
Okay.
think. But that's actually an ordinance documenting it. to-
Okay.
that
Right.
way
There
you
was no
have it.
ordinance.
Right.
So we need another motion.
Right.
Same day. I move.
Meeting, second.
All in favor?
All right. Thanks, Nick.
And if Cindy needs something else, I guess for the grant application, she just let me know what else is needed. But that was my understanding as to what she needed for it.
Yeah, I spoke with her briefly. I think that's exactly.
Okay. As far as ordinance violations, I assume Randy's going to talk about that. He has a list of those here. We do have court on those August 23rd for the first three on Randy's list here, which is 902 North Virginia Street, 816 North Virginia Street, 414 East Virginia Street. So that's our court date on those. I'll let Randy talk to you about the rest of the list because he can kind of update you on where we are in the process on those.
When did you say the court date is?
August 23rd.
August 23rd at 1:30 for the first three listed there. And some of those have been ongoing violations that have actually possibly had fines in the past too. So, but we now have service on all of them. So that court date will go. And as you know, there's a little bit of a process to ordinance violations for nuisance properties. But these ones are the ones that are furthest along in the process. They're in front of a judge now. So some of the other ones are in the notice process or are in the process where we're drafting for court. But Randy kind of has updates for you there where it says others in his report. So, but that's all I have for tonight's meeting.
Well, thank you. You ready, Randy?
Sure. You got a copy of the nuisance property list. I highlighted the yellow on there are properties that did corrections. after they were cited. I think the rest of them are pretty well self-explanatory on there. I also gave the last one on the list at 402 North Virginia where the large trees were down.
Yeah, I see they're getting that cleaned up.
He's getting it cleaned up. He's waiting on somebody with a bigger saw to saw off those bigger chunks. And then he'll get those out of there also. But he also purchases properties, and I gave that information to Nick to talk to him about some of the blighted properties in town that we are trying to get rid of. He's interested in maybe...
Was that property sold there, or what's going on with that property?
At this address?
Where the big trees are?
Yeah, it was sold about a year ago.
Oh.
And then they cut the trees down about 6 months ago. And,
Right.
And then they didn't have it cleaned up, so that's when they got cited.
Right.
Because they've been sitting there for so long.
Well, I know it's been on our list before, talked about, and sat there for years, same owner. So it's good to see some activity.
He's got some other properties in town he's working on, so he said that was the first time he'd ever gotten cited. So.
Okay.
But we also didn't have any information in the town hall on that property because it hadn't had utilities for years. So we weren't really sure who owned it at the time.
Was it? Oh,
But it's been addressed now.
So when it comes to the nuisance properties, we went through this our last meeting about what creates that, I guess. But so how I mean, other than citing, what else are we doing with that? Is that all we can do, or?
There's two of them that we have that we can't locate the owner for. One of them, the owner's died, and I contacted a family member in Florida, and it doesn't sound like they're interested in doing anything. So the town is going ahead and mowing that property, and the one right next to it was apparently a repossession by a bank. I tried to contact the bank to get them to move on it. They said the bank hasn't responded, but the neighbors said when they contacted the bank, they were told it was already sold. We don't know who owns it, so the town's mowing both of those properties on Park Street.
Park Street. Okay, so if somebody has something parked out there, like a boat or a trailer that's not plated, whatnot, is that treated just like a vehicle?
Yes, they're getting tagged and towed within 72 hours.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've obviously had some complaints that direction, and it seems like they're not being addressed. So I just want to make sure that.
They are.
Okay.
I've also got pictures of where the guys mowed that, before and after pictures that I can send out and we can document too.
Okay.
Can you send me those, and then can you send me a bill for how much time we've had involved there?
Yeah.
Because I can attach that as a special assessment, and it can be put on as a tax against the property.
I'll
But I
just-
have to have an invoice as to what the cost is. Special assessments are treated like property taxes, where if you don't pay them over a period of time, then the property can be sold at tax sale. So that might be an avenue to kind of either get whoever the property belongs to actually do something, or maybe get the property in ownership by somebody who will do something on the property. That's another avenue you can go besides the nuisance statute. The nuisance ordinance is our best avenue though, because it's got the quicker return, whereas a tax process has to go through 3 tax sales, which is 18 months. So that's why we've been using the nuisance ordinance.
So on these ones that we're mowing, we can attach liens to those.
Right, but I need an invoice as to
Okay.
the time involved.
So you are tracking all that, right? Days and how many times? Okay.
Pictures would be helpful too.
We've only mowed it once to date, but we can go back over there and hit it when it's needed.
And we've got the pictures of the properties from before that attached to the nuisance ordinance. We also have another property on Park Street that was cited last year. We cleaned up part of the overgrowth on the building, but now you can see the building, the windows knocked out and stuff. Josh, the building inspector, got with us too, and he's written that up as an unsafe building and gotten that information to Nick also. So the 3 or 4 departments are working together on that.
good.
The body worn camera grant is closing out, so everything's been paid on it. Just got to do the final reporting online. You have a copy of the significant events log and the officer calls by month log there. I am working, well, here, let me finish that though. June's e-ticket data, we had 6 felonies in the e-tickets, 15 misdemeanors, 48 infractions, and 91 warnings. That doesn't account for all felonies, arrest, department, that's just the ones that are traffic related to go through the traffic ticket.
Where are you reading that from, Randy?
I'm reading that right off of this sheet.
Oh.
That's just data.
Okay. When you say warrants, is that the J4 stuff? What? No, that's not J4. What are you talking
That's the pay, yeah. No, I didn't say anything about warnings.
about? Warnings. Oh,
Warning,
oh,
91
okay.
warnings.
I'm getting old, can't hear.
Yeah, I understand. I'm with you. I am working on something that we can keep track of the public safety funds that are coming in. $5 for each title check.
Well, yeah. Is this something that John Frank referenced, and there's been some talk about? You know, we just recently passed by what do we call that?
The ordinance on the resolution adopting the fees for different services.
Yeah, and so there's discussion about where we should try to put those.
Where that money goes, yes.
Well, I was just looking at our fund reports. There's really no fund appropriately named to use. We probably need to set up a new fund. Probably ought to have some line items to break out what the sources of the different
Like
fees or whatever were.
the firearms money used to, we don't get that anymore, but that used to
Right.
go into a specific account.
Right.
That was
a
firearms purchases. Now, the ticket money is supposed to go into an account only law enforcement continuing education. Those are by state statute. So, but I think currently the girls aren't really sure where that money's supposed to go, so it may be all getting put together.
Well, what month?
Well, can we create, or can Brandy do that, or do we need to make the motions to create a line on the?
Well, you'd probably want to direct her how you want it laid out specifically. That way she's not just willy-nilly doing something.
Right.
So,
Need some guidance.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be easier if she had light items on it, so internally they could track where their funds are coming
Right.
from, and as far as
So
usage
basically,
and
take the ordinance for the new violations, set up a line item for each one, and have a fund that says an umbrella over all of it.
I don't remember what we called the ordinance. Something about Rockville Police Department fees. I don't remember
There it
exactly
is.
what the name of it was, but
Public safety.
alright, so it was ordinance of the town council adopting new schedule of rates and charges to effect. No, that's a different one, Ron. Andy. That's the UTD or T one. Anyway, it adopted fees for the RPD. You know, as far as different activities.
Yeah, I don't think I brought a copy, but I know I've got one somewhere.
Well,
So,
I know it's being receipted in right now as whatever it's falling under, so we can track it right now to tell we can determine what we're gonna do with it. And, you know, Brandy can create 2 or 3 different lines, 5 lines, whatever she needs to do. I mean, you don't wanna put that money in training funds and stuff like that, no. That's what I was gonna say.
I think the whole point was to kind of help
So you
some of the spending.
Offset the other cost.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, the officers are supposed to be giving me copies of their call sheets when they go on alarm calls and stuff, so that the town can mail people for that. I had another guy that was requesting copies of records of a call, and videos, and audios, and
yeah.
so I had to come in and ask for, if we had an invoice that I could send. Well, we didn't have one, so I created one and sent it to him for that, although he's, doesn't like the cost. So I sent him a copy of the ordinance with the invoice.
It was $1 a page. What is it? It cost?
Yeah, to email them, it's $5, but there's 4 reports. There's 3 recorded
Well, some of that
Video
request was the one I'm
recordings,
thinking of. A lot of it didn't even pertain.
It's the 4A one, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a different one.
oh.
Yeah, we had 2 of them going
Oh, great.
at once.
There's 40 audio recordings that the guys want.
What?
So, yeah,
Right.
it came up to like $40.
That's all.
He was wanting a substantial amount of information, though.
Well, that's too cheap.
So
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, how much time did you invest?
used to be free.
that's
so.
what I told him. I said, cost us time to look all this stuff up.
Yeah.
But I also told him that he could get it someplace else if he wanted to, so.
Yeah.
But I sent him the invoice. The other thing is I've got to, do you want the town hall then to invoice for like these alarm calls? Or do you want me to do that?
Oh, no.
I would say the town hall probably should do that. I mean, as long as you got all the pertinent information, we're not.
And I'm gonna bring those call sheets in, and then they can just attach it to the invoice and send it to these
Do it monthly.
alarm people. But I've got, under the records, it shows that we had 5 residential alarms, 4 commercial burglar alarms, and 1 alarm at the bank, so, at a bank. So there's 10 alarm calls for the month of June. Requesting permission to apply for a JAG grant. The JAG grant's the non-matching grant, doesn't cost a damn thing. The money that I got for the radios the last time. This time I'm pursuing money to obtain new in-car computers. The last time we got in-car computers, they were used, and we still have some problems with those.
How old are the ones we have, Ray?
I don't know how old they were before we got them, but we've had problems with them ever since, and that's been 4 or 5 years now. But we're looking at some tough book computers that withstand the weather and,
So what do you need from us? Just your blessing, or
yeah, to pursue the grant. It doesn't cost us anything.
well, sounds, yeah, I think
My
it's a
time.
good idea. It cost your time, yeah. Good idea, Randy.
And that's all I have for this one. I've got more properties to do still in the spare time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You ready, Jeff?
Yep.
Thank you.
Where did the one over there go?
Community Crossings Grant 2022-1, tentative start date for milestone items is August 15th, 22. That can be plus or minus a couple weeks depending on weather and that kind of stuff, their schedule. Number 2 is the upcoming call number 2 for community crossings. I've got the updated Sugar Tree Alley cost estimates, which is $87,581.65 to do the work on Sugar Tree Alley. That's current pricing, and that does not include the water part. This would just be the digging up the street, resurfacing new base, installation of the storm down the middle with the 3.
Is that just the post office or?
Just the post office alley, that segment from Margaret Street to Michigan Street, that section only. And Anderson Street, Roger was going to try to work on those, but he's out of the country this week, and I think he'll be back. So I don't have those for you, but I think we knew that was going to be pretty cost prohibitive. If we just do Anderson Street without the sidewalks, curbs, storm work, current figures are $128,525.20. So that's a pretty good chunk too.
And that's going from 41
all the way down
All the
to
way-
the end by Rainbow.
Okay.
Okay, all the way down
I
there.
mean, is that including, I mean, because Rainbow kind of comes around, so is that all the way down to?
Just to where it stops there, they've got that where it turns into gravel drive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just there.
Well-
So the my recommendation on that is I'd almost, because they've NDOT came out and they've extended the application period to August 31st. That's another month where prices can raise, and by the time that we get bids, it's in September. I'd probably, I don't know, I'd stack another 20-30% on top of those cost estimates to do my application, I think. Because generally, if they don't make the award until October, it's really iffy. If we can get that done,
Well, we have,
in October.
yeah, we don't have to do it in the fall. We can do it next spring. I mean, we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what's our match on that? 20%?
25.
25. So you're looking at $207,000 basically, or $205,000.
My recommendation is just do the Sugar Tree Alley now. And, I would figure about 100,000 all the way around. Figure about 15 to 20 for the installation of the water lines.
We're putting in the water lines.
Yeah, but it's
Well, we pay our guys every day. My point is, other than material, they're already here.
yeah. But
But-
I mean,
but
it's
well,
still going to cost us.
The design on Sugar Tree, we have that, right?
Yes.
I know it's somewhere. I couldn't find it. But
Yep.
yeah, I agree, Jeff. I don't know. The whole interesting thing, we need to back off on that and look at it some more. The alley thing, but still, we apply this fall. Yeah, the cost could go up dramatically over winter, but you hate to not get in
Well, get it locked in.
and try to get some of the money out there that's available. I mean, every time you have a chance, you should.
If you're backing out Anderson, could you substitute something in that would be workable? in
Well,
that
we
time
could
period?
take a look. Jeff knows the inventory.
Well, let's say we could go first round of next year for that, but I mean,
Yeah. The other thing is too, with community crossings grant, I think you can only have like a couple open projects. So if we have the current project open and we do Sugar Tree Alley, that's our 2. And then we can get those closed out, do something again in January. So that's my recommendation, is to go ahead and let's just lock in Sugar Tree Alley with this application.
Well, start working on it. Let's look at design again, and we've got till into August, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much to the design. He's got an inverse crown with the storm structure running down through the middle, 3 catch basins, concrete structures underneath that, and then the collection box down at the very bottom on Michigan
Well,
Street.
that west side's a big issue.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we
And
probably
getting
should.
that
Well,
right
I'm
in
looking.
there.
We should probably have Stormwater take a look at. Has Stormwater looked at this, Kevin, Steve? You're both here, aren't you? Have you looked at Sugar Tree Alley? Any design there? We should probably
I'll forward it to
have
him.
that look. Yeah, so forward that to Steve and Kevin. Where Kevin go? Just here. Oh, there he is.
Guilty. Pool lift chair. I have a document need approved from Nick allowing us to borrow Attica, the city of Attica's lift chair for our pool. Ours went kaput. Attica has one that we believe will work. And that document just relieves them of any liability in the use or operation of the chair while it's here at Rockville. And also provides coverage for them if we happen to break it or whatever, something happens to it, we'll incur the expense of repairing or replacing it.
I'll make a motion.
Oh.
to approve.
Yeah, I'll second. Here, David.
all in favor?
You go give it to tomorrow.
Use that one. It's a color.
I've got
You got the original?
It's just short and sweet and to the point, basically.
Item number 4 is a big one, and it's an ongoing issue. You know, we've got the Clarifier Drive project. Maddox has been down there, they've installed the new drive, they haven't been able to test it yet because we've had an issue with the drain going from the clarifier unit underneath the tank. There's a valve there, and then there's a line that goes all the way down to the bottom manhole at the bottom of the hill. We've got some kind of issue in between the clarifier tank. When Bruce opened it, drained down to within 2 feet of the bottom, and it's clogged. We've had an eco infrastructure over the last, well, they were there today and they were there last Thursday. We've tried jetting it, they've tried jetting it with the big jet truck, different size hoses, different size nozzles. We've tried vacuuming it out. We've got our camera up there. It's, at this point, we've done everything that we can do except dig it up. And
So where's the drain at? Is it in the center?
no, the drain is kind of in the center of the clarifier tank.
So how far down is it clogged? Do you
That's
have any-
just it. It varies. We'll get the pipe down through there, and it'll get stuck. Get it pulled back up, jam it down through. We'll go a little bit farther. We'll get stuck again. And the odd thing about it, I mean, this whole thing just defies any kind of logic.
Where does it go to?
It goes down at the very bottom of the hill, next to where one of the old tanks is, and there's a manhole down there, and it shoots back over, I think. But in between that manhole at the bottom of the hill and up at the top of the hill, there's a problem, and we don't have any idea what it is. So we're going to stop up at the valve.
Manhole.
We've tried jet from the manhole. We've tried jet from the drain. We can get in through the valve and get farther down, but
What kind of
like I
pipe is
said,
it? It's a PVC, I assume.
It's an 8-inch, and I'm not sure if it's steel or if it's PVC. But you know, it's just hard telling. I mean, it defies any logic of any of the guys that have been down there working on it. They've tried everything that they know how to do.
I mean, they tried augering it and everything. I mean,
I don't know what you mean by an auger. Snake?
yeah, I mean, a big one, industrial.
Yeah,
Cutting.
no, haven't done that.
Cutter on the
Like,
end.
they've got truck mounted ones that are, you know, cables are that big. I mean, I don't know why.
Well, to dig it up, I mean, you could be potentially.
It's going to be at least 20 foot deep. We can't do that kind of dig.
Well,
Have you cambered it, you said?
Yeah, we got it all the way up. At first, they had the head stuck. We went in through the manhole, came in that way, and it's an incline uphill, of course. So we got to push a rod, got it up in there as far as we can, but it's still not showing any collapsed pipe or anything like that.
But you can't see what kind of debris in there? Or
No,
nothing?
well, I mean, we're not getting anything coming out except for clear water. It's almost like they'll run into an obstruction, they'll shoot the clean water out, we'll get a thin stream, they'll get stuck, they'll wiggle around, it'll come back out, and we won't get that surge of dirty water coming back out at all. So, like I said, it's mystified everybody that's been down there working on it, and I know Eco's looked at a lot of different stuff, and so have our people. And
Do you have a cost estimate? I mean, it's going to have to be done, but do you have a cost estimate on what it's
I'm trying to find somebody that can do the work. I called McCullough's today, and they're booked solid. Talked to Matt Collum. I think he's going to come over.
Well, why
tomorrow.
not do a power auger thing though? I mean, before you go digging
So
up.
if you go up through the manhole, okay, there's a Y.
Okay.
One Y goes to the far west clarifier tank. The other Y goes to the one that we're having problems with.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just worried if you shoot an auger up through there, I don't know which wire you're going to hit with that auger.
Why not just dig out, excavate at the Y, and then go? I'm just trying to avoid cost.
Yeah. Well, I get
I mean,
it.
this clarifier drained to a point because you got down to a couple feet and then it just clogged.
Yeah.
A collapsed pipe would indicate it's not plastic.
Well, a collapsed pipe would indicate, too, we would be getting some kind of debris when we were jetting down through that, like gravel or some kind of sediment or anything like that with a collapsed pipe. And that just,
it's not been the case. So, like I said, we're all just kind of, I mean,
Well, I don't know. Just what? Other than just digging the whole thing up.
but I think we're going to go ahead and start at the valve and dig down at the valve and make sure there's not an issue with that. And it's a quarter turn valve, and the guys would like to go ahead and replace it with a gate valve, which is straight up and down. And we've got one of those that we can do. The big thing is just trying to figure out where and what kind of problem we've got. So that's the issue. And I wish I could give you, I could say, hey, we've got a collapse at this spot, and, you know, here it is on camera, but I can't.
Price available, have you checked with them or?
No, I've got to find somebody that can be available to do the work first. But you probably have to.
I mean, they've always treated it pretty decent, is what I'm saying.
McCullough's?
No, Price.
Oh, yeah. I've got to call into him too. And I haven't heard back from him yet, but I got a message in his office. So.
Well, what kind of situation is putting us in at the sewer plant?
Well, we're operating on one clarifier, which is Chansey. Maddox has to finish up their check through making sure that everything is good on their clarifier drive installation. They can't do that unless the tank is full.
Right.
We can't, I mean, I suppose we could pull it back up just to test it, but I really think we need to find this drain issue first before we go any further with that.
Well, yeah.
You know, but
Well,
and
so how
that
many
brings
feet?
me-
How many feet of excavation? Worst case scenario are you looking at?
100 feet, but the problem is it's that
Well, it's on a
hillside.
slope, yeah.
You know, we've got maybe 40 feet up top where it's flat, maybe a little bit longer until it starts going down that hill. And I even thought maybe there was another structure in between, you know, like a clean out. But we've been up and down that hill.
There should
with
be a
metal,
clean out,
right?
I would think.
I would think so too, but we've been up and down that hillside with metal detector looking for structures. We ran our locator rod, push rod up through there with a locator, so we know where the line runs, but we can't locate another structure in between the two, the manhole and the clarifier tank. So, like I said, it's mystifying, and we've all been scratching our heads over it here, since last week.
So is anybody, when were those clarifiers redone?
That I couldn't tell you. I did. I think I forwarded you guys some pictures because it brings me to another point about the condition of the metal.
I'm just trying to
structures.
figure out, do we have any documents when they were rehabbed or built? Well, back when we came in 2012, Liddy, the previous board had done well, that was the Oak and Stormwater. No, when the heck was it? Well, it was early 2000. There was a project down there, wasn't there? Of course, hell, that's been 20 years.
Midwest Engineers did the last two rehabs.
Midwest did, yes.
They did both of those.
Yes.
They might have the documents.
But that's
Yeah.
what the clarifier metal structure looks like right now. With it's got all kinds of debris on it. The paint is chipping considerably. And it's down to the primer, as you can see there in spots. So really, that needs to be sandblasted and repainted if we want to make sure that life of that structure continues to be long term.
Well,
And that I can get some estimates on that one. So I guess what I'll do is I'll try to pin down one of our excavators and see if they can give us an estimate. Bring back with you. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah.
we can't
I
sit
mean,
around and
we
wait
gotta-
2 weeks for another meeting.
Well, no, but we can.
But I can have something ballparked for you.
Well, that's one option. Should we still pursue a couple other options? Like Steve just said, Midwest was the engineer in the prior two projects down there. Somebody should have some information on the line, the type of material, if there's any clean outs, or I hate. We're already bleeding to death down there. Is my point. If we can save a few bucks somehow, we should try. Because my God, it's just, well, you know all we bought this year.
My God, yes.
And then we're not done.
No, no.
So, of course, your documents down there, you have your room is, but Midwest is what you want to look for. And I don't know, you've ever talked to Midwest Engineering in the past, or have you ever talked?
It's been a while. When we did
Where'd that
the
look?
last sewer
Laguna.
rehabilitation, I met with some of their engineers when they were doing I think a PER. Or
But a little conversation and looking into that. I mean, I wouldn't stop with the excavation estimates, but I would also, encourage you to look at, see what else information we might get. And that could come in handy for the excavation part of it, too.
Okay. Project status, water improvement project. I think Cindy has submitted a ROKR grant on 7/1/22, so that's a good thing. We'll wait to hear back from them. North sewer expansion, I don't know anything for sure, but I do know that the ads were placed at 6/29 and 7/6, which will be tomorrow when they run. The bids are due at 4 p.m. on August 1st. The bid opening will be that evening at 5 p.m. And we will also have a pre-bid meeting on July 19th at 11 a.m. for that project. So it's moving along.
Are you running that bid show?
I reckon so. I think probably Structure Point will be here for that. They'll do the pre-construction meeting. And,
So have you been in contact with Brian Hood at all?
yes.
Okay.
South Market Street, we have updates from Kelly and Dean on that. Ken Olson. I'd like to get a meeting with Ken and NDOT this week because I'm getting two different stories. NDOT's saying we're not going to move that deadline. Structure Point says, yeah, they're going to move that deadline, so they need to talk.
Well, where did Structure
And let
Point
us
say
know.
they were going to move the deadline? I haven't seen that communication.
But I thought if they move it, we still.
Well, let's not even talk about moving. We're not talking moving yet, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we're still a month away.
Yeah, you're a month away, but
At 20%.
I don't want to hear any more 20% crap either. We have a lot of properties in play here. We have a bunch that are being worked on. And I know you guys are on South Market, right?
Yes, that's why we're here.
Well, okay. I thought it might be. What?
Parking.
Well, yeah.
Parking. We have no parking left. They take away our street parking.
Mhm.
Our children can't come to visit. I have an elderly mother who's due to move in with us. Our car ladies can't come and play with us.
Well.
We've got a very short driveway. We're about to lose several feet more of it, to the point where if we do lose those several feet, we can't fit two cars in that park.
Well, okay.
We're landlocked all over the place.
We've lived there 42 years and have always had a vehicle out on the curb.
Yeah.
And we bought the house with an asphalt parking spaces in front of the house. Town came in, worked on it, put gravel back. We park the cars there when kids come home, park the cars there. I just don't understand why we can have carve-outs on North Market Street for parking, but not on South Market Street.
On North Market Street.
Yeah, got them right here.
Oh, you mean over there? Yeah, there before you get to. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. I don't know.
It's not like it's going to be so visually displeasurable or anything.
Yeah, I was looking at our list of property owners here. You're
Like I said, we're landlocked all over the place.
413.
We've got an acre and a half. We can't get into it with the berm there.
Okay, so who did you talk to last from? Who you been talking to from? I see. There's all kinds of people involved with this, don't
Yeah.
There's
Michael Walker.
Michael Walker. Yeah,
And he's the one who finally got Structure Point to answer us. When this whole thing started, we brought these concerns to Structure Point at 3 meetings, and then they said, email us with your concerns, and we'll answer you in writing. That never happened. So finally, this man got our answer, and the answer is no street parking. But again, there's carve-outs on North Market Street. Why is South Market Street any different?
Well, all I know is that's how it was designed. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I don't have any good answer for you. Wish I had a
I
better
know
answer.
it can be redesigned.
But yeah,
Basically, you're just carving out the grassy area.
I don't, like I said, I don't have any answers. I'm just trying to figure out how we can keep the project moving. So, anybody want to jump in here? David, Jeff, any comments?
No, you don't
Yep.
like my
We-
comments.
We know that's going to be an issue, and you know,
Okay.
we talked about that before in public meeting.
Well,
that would be an issue. And,
Well. so,
We've got neighbors north of us who share a driveway.
Yeah.
You take away street parking from them. What do? Decide who goes up the driveway one day and who goes up the driveway the next day?
you know, Steve, you were here when we worked on this originally. I mean, you got any insight? You have an engineering background on these topics.
Well, I mean, one, for their particular thing, I mean, you've got the whole property south of you, they can design access through or over the sidewalk where you could get into your large lot to your south and solve your problem. Part of it is you're, just like on Howard, there's no on-street parking once you get into the residential area and away from the commercial area. Similar to South Market, you know, you're down in the residential area, and there's no on-street parking like there is up on North Market, where you've got businesses and zoning for businesses and all that, so that's part of it. The other
We've got parking cutouts on North Market in front of residential areas, not in business areas.
So, but again, the bulk of that street that went in on the Market Howard project, there is no street parking. And part of it's for the safety of people, you know, for the traffic, the way it's classified, it's the corridor and collector, the major collector. You know, they don't want, you know, the on-street parking from a safety standpoint. Again, they could make a cut into your other property to the south so you could access it if you want to use that, more of your acreage to do that. But if you don't want to do that, that plan that they've been through is vetted and looked at all of it, has been acted on. I mean, it's
Well, so you don't have access the way it is right now in the design.
No, there's a 3.5 foot berm there that fronts our property. You can't get over it with a car. You can't get over it with a truck. It's steep and it's short.
And that side property is where the stormwater line runs through back to the ravine. And I don't know how much building or weight you want to put in that property. We've kept it basically all these years for the kids could play out there and the neighbors
Right.
come over, you know.
Well, is there a possibility something can be done to create access to that?
Well, that's
We've
that's
asked,
what we've been
I've
asking.
asked Structure Point twice and haven't heard a word from them.
Do we have copies of those?
I can give you copies.
Can you make copies of those?
Yeah.
Of these documents he has?
Emails.
Emails. Yeah, I don't know why that's an issue. I mean, that's what it takes. You know, that's what we'll
Again,
do.
we've got 5 kids. We'd like them to come visit us.
Well, of
we don't
course.
want them parking on the square and shoveling them down.
Yeah.
It just seems odd that you have people living in a town who can't have a book club meeting because there's no parking for their.
Well, yeah, Steve kind of refreshed. I remember when we were talking about that design, it's all about the pedestrian and traffic flow, and I guess I kind of understand now why they have some over here, the carve-outs you call them. Sorry, I didn't mean to almost hit you. Over there on North Market, because you have that transition, you get into commercial and you go into the residential, and then they stop. There goes the question, where do you start and stop things, in this case parking. But so we have these.
If I'm guessing it's within a block.
Like I say,
of
it's not like we
commercial.
have a yard we can get to anymore. You're
Yeah.
buying the frontage.
Well,
and
again,
cars
I
across the front.
who the heck's Steve Hart? Anybody know who he is at Structure Point?
That's Sarah Everhart.
Oh, Sarah Everhart.
Yeah, she's the contact that's listed on their webpage.
Okay.
For
Do you have pictures of the berm and stuff that you're talking about?
not with us, no.
The Jeffs walked that berm.
Well,
Since last year when the sewer line.
I mean, I'm at a loss, so I don't know.
You can't get over it.
That with you? Okay.
Like I say,
back to, you know, there's a problem, let's try to resolve it. I'm under the assumption that if we get Structure Point out here to look at this, if I have to hold their hand and get them down there, I will. And say, okay, what do you need to get, you know, be, I guess, comfortable with the project here, how it's going to be. I mean, if you need parking back there, we engineer that to get back there. That seems.
Yeah, like I say, we've got an acre and a half.
That
We
seems
can't
to be
get
acceptable. Okay.
Is this
There's
berm?
other people on that street too that are concerned about parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, those two with the shared driveway, you take away their street parking, and again, what do? One family gets to park this way and this week. The next family gets to park that way.
What's a
Is
good?
this berm like a levee? Is it keeping water from going somewhere, keeping water in?
We honestly don't know why it was built. It was put in there a long time ago. When Brooks Collins built those family homes along there, he built that levee up. They filled in that ravine. I mean, it's a solid levee. When they blew out the stormwater drain and they went to cut into it, they found out that levee is built out of stacked up clay tiles that are filled in with rock and dirt.
What's a good? I'll be honest first thing in the morning. What's a good contact email phone number? I mean, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Yeah, we're running down to the timeline here with compensation of property
Yeah,
acquisition
we have
costs.
no problem with them.
And that's we don't get this done by, I think it's August 12th.
Yeah.
You know, I think the compensation cost is on us after that point, as opposed to being an 80-20 cost.
Like I said, we have no problem with the project. We think it's marvelous. But again, why can people on North Market Street park in front of their house?
What you could do is kind of like we did on the Sewer North project, where you compensate them conditioned upon you guys doing X, Y, or Z additional things.
Well, I'm sure I'll be.
That might be something to talk to Structure Point about.
But well, anyway, I'm glad you're here.
And like I say, we've been dealing with Structure Point from the very first meeting.
There's so many people involved with these. I'm just blown away how many documents there are for one piece of property. My God, I can't believe it. I wonder why it takes so long. Now I see. I mean, there's just there's a lot involved.
So which side of the street you guys live on? East or west?
We're on the east side.
Okay.
We're
So
in
you're
Rockville.
right by your yard is basically where the storms. drain.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So you're north or south of that?
Our house is north of it.
Okay.
The empty lot where the storm sewer runs, and we've kept that up through the years. We haven't put garden in there. We've done nothing to cause erosion there. We had the Zoya grass covering the whole thing so it wasn't soggy there. I mean, it was nice. And the only thing we've ever done on that is had the kids play on it. Again, we knew there was a really, really, really fragile storm sewer running through there because every once in a while it blew up. Last year it blew up really big.
Are you folks? You'll be available for the next week or so? No.
Yeah, we'll be in and out of town. We take my mother to the doctor.
Oh.
But
how old's your mother?
90.
90. Good for her.
So, but yeah.
Well, I'll try
every
to
night.
figure out who to get out here and
Yeah, we haven't had any luck, so we'd appreciate it.
set up a meeting.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this man who was trying to get us to sign off on the sale,
Yeah.
he's the one who got the answer from Structure Point.
Well, okay. Well,
Like I say, we've been at every meal, at every meeting. We have contacted them, like I say, talked to them after the meeting, showed them on their little pictures what the problem was.
okay. Well, I'll see what I can get going tomorrow. Again, thank you. Okay, where are we at? Oh.
Okay, I'm still on South Market. I was telling you I'd like to get a meeting with Ken and NDOT. I'll try to get that hooked up so you can get in on it. Off-street parking, we've already talked about. Construction and inspection documents, I do have that for you to sign off on. And I brought copies. Where are you, construction? This is the scope of work. It's just the signature page. I emailed you the rest of it.
And what's that for?
That's the signature page for the construction inspection document that was $686,000.
Yeah, I think I printed that thing. I don't know. You want to sign that, David?
That's for the South Market.
I would like to go back and look at the original documents and see the breakout. I know it was expensive, but it's probably gone up since 5 years ago. How soon does that need to be acted on?
It's not critically urgent. If you want to take time and review it for next
Well, I think
meeting.
we should, don't you?
I think it's pretty tightly regulated what they can and can't. Because it's
Well, I would think so.
But do your due diligence by all means.
David, what do you think?
Well, we get this project moving, so.
Well, if you want to just roll with it, we'll roll with it. I mean, I imagine there's nothing much we can do about it.
Are they doing in-house inspections on this? Are they doing third party or what?
It's them.
Huh?
It's them.
Yeah. Now, is this just South Market? Does this include anything with Jefferson
No,
and
that's
41
just South
North?
Market. South Market and I'm sorry. South Market is this one, Jefferson Street, and the 41 North. They'll do kind of a combined thing.
And just be there a couple of days a week.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Should go back to you.
You want this back, or do you want Brandy to have it?
Well, this has to
I
go.
just need to send. Are you guys going to sign it? Or?
He signed it. We're
Okay.
good.
I'll go ahead and send it back to.
Time, so.
I'll go ahead and send this back to Structure Point, scan, and I'll also CC Brandy on that so she can have a copy for her
Okay.
records. Did you guys send me back that agreement, user's agreement?
Oh.
Cool. I'll take that.
Do the same thing, send it, scan it,
Yes.
send it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get a signed, executed copy from that.
You want to date that and whenever you want to send it off.
Yeah, yeah. I'll get that taken care of tomorrow. Right, approval needed for, and I don't know if this is something she's already done, Brandy's already done, but they were talking about these PMRs, which is basically a partial mortgage release for
Yes.
some of these things, and I think we need to.
I thought those were already done.
I made a motion last time that Dave could sign them without waiting for a meeting.
Okay, did you guys already do these then?
Well, I don't
This
know.
is parcel 4.
There's
Parcel
4 of them.
4, parcel 10, parcel 8, and parcel 7. That needed
7, 8,
signatures.
10. Yeah, Nick, did you have time to look at any of this? Here's the email that was sent. Those are the actual waivers. There's 4 properties. We need a partial mortgage release. I thought you signed those last week, David, or the week before.
Well, I mean, I haven't been tracking them, but
Okay. Well, I didn't know if that was something you guys already did. I just went ahead and bring it.
whenever you have them, whenever you request them to be signed, they're sitting on the table when I sign them. So,
Okay.
how long have you had those?
Nothing about
Let's see, June 29th, this was sent to me,
I'm
Yeah, it's
sure
not been
that-
long.
so it's not been long.
Right before the
June
weekend.
29th, so he wouldn't have signed them because we met.
You met before that.
Well, yeah, but if you guys, you said you approved David to sign these documents, so as they've been coming.
You signed some since June
Oh, yeah.
29th,
Oh, since the 29th? No.
so I'd say sign
Right
it.
now, this waiver was dated 6/24 from Structure Point, where they signed off.
I say just have him sign and find out if
It's
the
not
legal
much
gets-
over the top of what you previously.
Right,
authorized.
25,000
Yeah.
threshold.
Go ahead and give them to me, Jeff. I'll
I mean,
sign
you're already
them.
on board for the other part, so.
Okay.
And if they've got them, we shred them.
Yeah, I mean, we can shred them.
Okay.
On Jefferson Street, which is item 5D, we do have the construction schedule. Street closures are going to be beginning on the 10th. Yeah, I noticed they've already got some of the detour things up. We ran into an issue today with the removal of the light pole on Jefferson Street, but I think we got that worked out and figured out. We'll go underground with our guys, and we talked to the owner of the property, and he's going to get a structure built for the pedestal for the meters and the cutoffs and that kind of stuff, so we should be good. Jackson Voorhees Beetle project, we're still waiting on a final design from Roger, and we'll take that to the storm board for review, acceptance, and whatever. Water Extension East project, I don't know this for sure, but I was told that there may be a deal in the works for PER on that from the owner of the sanitarium.
Yeah, we're just waiting to get an agreement with him.
Okay.
So,
He was at the county meeting this afternoon, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
Okay. What are the next steps you need from my end on that? Anything at all?
waiting on an agreement so we can get started, so he can start doing a study.
Okay. So nothing on that right now.
I was told by an ex-employee that, a real ex-employee, that he wasn't sure that water would carry that far out there. So I don't know if we want to have him do some kind of float.
What are you saying? The pressure from the wellhead won't push it far enough east to be of any use?
Must have been the mom.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what it was.
Anyway,
I would trust him. So.
Well, more information is always good to have. So,
I mean,
I'd like to have an
I
engineer.
want to make sure we can get water out there if we're going to build it.
Yeah, I don't know what the pressure is coming out down there. We pump it obviously up some hills to get to town, do we not?
Yeah.
So, I would take an independent paid third-party opinion on it. But yeah, I think it'd be fine. All you can do is put a pump on it and push it. Be my feeling.
Well, I mean,
but still,
keep in mind there won't be any circulation on that, or
It'll just dead end.
right?
It's gonna be so.
Dead end's not good in the water line,
No.
but that's not where we want to end up ultimately anyway. I mean, it's instead of head west, it's head east, young man.
No, I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Also had a request from the Farm
Family
Fresh.
Farm Fresh Co-op.
Yeah. They're wanting to know what it would take to get water out there. And I know just on what we were looking at on the estimate down South Bridgeton Road, that it was pretty salty. But again, if you want me to try to get a formal quote on that to bring to you, I'd happily do that.
I mean, I'm okay with you getting a quote on.
Okay. Charging station information. Well, I did have several documents that we're going to need to go through over the course of the next week or so. I sent them out as an email. I have copies here just in case, but some things we have to talk about are rates, billing, IT connections, access, that kind of stuff. I figure we'll wait till Brandy gets back and sit down and kind of hammer that stuff as far as how do you want the billing connections to be and that type of thing. But as far as the construction standpoint goes,
Don't they pay for that with a credit card at the station?
yeah, I think so. They have to have a good cell signal at those. So,
That might not be good if they have Verizon.
Yeah, that's true.
doing the construction piece of that, I think we're still good to go on it. I've got IMPA on board for the engineering. They're supposed to give me a cost estimate on that. I think it's about $2,000 from what Dan told us at the beginning.
So this is just at the depot.
We're going to do one at the depot. We're going to do one at the parking lot.
Well, that brings into question, we just had some alternative ideas presented on the parking lot. So, yeah, it's something that, if you don't have a parking lot in that corner, you won't want a charging station there, I guess is my point. But, you know, it's,
There's charging stations a lot of different places.
well, you can put them a lot of different places, yes. So just something to think about. Keep you awake tonight, Jeff.
Well, I think we're already committed to doing that.
Well, we're committed to doing it, but does it have? I'm just saying, we're throwing it out there. I don't know what we're going to do for sure at this point, but
Okay.
we were looking at that spot over there. In
Well,
the
we
corner.
got 2 chargers coming.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay.
I know.
So we know we're going to put at least one at the depot.
Yes, that was my point. We know that.
All right.
The other issue is on this lot.
You don't know yet. So if we choose not to do
Yeah,
the
Luke's
lot or
back.
whatever, and you go another route, you've still got another charger that you're obligated for. So I suppose you can put it at the depot also.
Well, you could, or we could find another location.
Okay.
I'm just kind of thinking out loud here at the moment, but something to consider. Like we need more things on our plate. But,
Okay.
All right.
So we won't do any construction over there.
Well, when was it scheduled to be done?
Well, at any time, I'd kind of like to have had it done before the Bridge Festival.
Well, so we have. Yeah, it's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
No.
Okay.
I've got to get some of the engineering specs from IMPA
Right.
on their end first.
Right.
Before we do anything. So
So what are we gonna, I mean, other than the charging station, what are we gonna have in it? Just a conduit or wire?
yeah, and I'm going to have somebody bore over at the depot. I've talked to UMAC, sent them an email, see if they can give me an idea. It's not a very long run, but there's a lot of stuff in there that we don't want.
Well, obviously, we're not gonna have, I mean, we're gonna be parking in that lot for a while. I mean, I say we go ahead and put one in there, because we're gonna be parking in there for the festival anyways. I mean, we can move it, right?
Oh yeah, you're just all you're going to have is you're going to have conduit and concrete pad.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Can you have the guys run the electric for the clock too?
Yeah, we can put down conduit wherever you want it. I mean,
Well-
it's not that big deal because it's not paved yet. So
Right.
yeah, they could run a conduit right down the edge of the blacktop and bury that.
So, yeah, if you know for sure where you want a clock, let me know. We can run conduit and electric to it and stuff
I
it
think
out
it's
or whatever.
the southeast corner, right?
That's what we kind of decided on then.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to have it pinpointed. We can put, dead end cap on it.
Yeah.
Mark it.
All right. Well, we get down ready to lay it, we'll just run that conduit all the way down there. And just talking to Dan. So the other thing I'd heard was possibility of street lights on York. So we'll have to run power to that.
What?
Is that going to happen?
I don't know.
I think
The only, I mean, we talked about that briefly, but I know that Brad wants to put one where the original, where we were gonna have a green space.
Okay.
He wanted to move one like what's on their property now.
You mean in the middle of their east yard or on the street side?
No,
Or?
it would be on the inside of the sidewalk.
Okay, on
But
the
it
street
would be-
side, on York Street.
I have a quote
Okay.
from
Okay.
what's this Halifax, I think, right? Joe Holcomb.
Yeah.
I have a quote from him, and he did draw something up if the event we go to with that.
Okay.
To purchase 4 lights to light the
So-
lot effectively.
4 lights for the lot. Well, anyway, so conduit for that could come. Well,
Just rub it all over.
We've got conduit going everywhere.
I'm just talking to the guy, we're actually thinking about setting a pedestal there where that pole was, because I'm assuming you're gonna want this metered different ways. And, so we could do, cutoffs, not cutoffs, but disconnects to the different circuits. For example, if you just want to kill the street lights, or if you want to kill the charging stations, it's pretty easy. So they've been thinking about that a little bit.
Okay.
All right. That's what we got going there. UMAC tells me that when they get back from vacation, they're going to get on our Martin Street repair and hydrant replacements. So that's a good thing.
Do we have the hydrants? Or are we purchasing more?
I don't know that I have any.
Did they put them all in?
Yeah,
We bought 10, I
We
remember
bought
that.
10, that's been,
been a few years ago. Okay.
Probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
But I don't know if they put them all in. Did they?
I have no idea.
Good.
So we're probably buying more.
Beechwood Park Pavilion painting is in progress, should be done by the end of the week. Decorative light replacement, we're still waiting on delivery of materials. And fast-paced urgent care, got a call from that, or a text from that Wendy. As far as electric, sewer, and water, we have no issues. I know Storm Board sent a letter of response, fast-paced, regarding drainage concerns and public safety sidewalk concerns. And I haven't heard anything back from that. And then I think you've already talked about NPTA action there. Sorry the list was long, but we're getting busy.
Thanks,
all right.
Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
How's my agenda?
Andy?
The only thing I have are the warrants and claims in the amount of $228,149.51.
Okay. Where'd those dudes go to? I just had them. Anyway, there's nothing out of the ordinary there. Our mortgage payments and lots of payroll and whatnot.
Are you feeling okay?
I know. I was gonna make a payment on motions pending your questions.
Go ahead.
I make a motion we approve.
I'll second.
All in
The
favor?
heat's getting to me, David. The heat's getting to me. Hey, dude. Zoning out.
A little bit.
You know,
He's getting me too.
Yeah.
do you know that when they have the square at the pool, it charges
God, it's horrible.
a fee that we have to eat up, and it was $46.
Where the hell did my agenda go?
So do you need approval by
I
that
don't
to pay?
know.
Is it something we're paying?
I think so, but I don't have a sign sheet or anything, so
No, the fun
I
happens till I get
don't
there.
know about that.
No.
I
Here's
go
a
ahead.
copy of that sold contract.
I got one.
You have a copy?
I printed one
Okay.
out.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna wait until you guys review that.
No, they'll
No,
sign.
go Dave sign. We're going with it. I
Do we need
mean,
to
I'm
make a
sure it
motion
is.
on that?
We did, didn't we?
wait a
It's
minute.
okay if I read.
No.
Marshall meeting started.
Just for
That
my,
was 14.2 APA.
just for my amusement, I wanted to go back and look, and I'll go back and look at the original
call around
document and
8?
see what they estimated. I mean, everything's
Can you
up.
give me a call around 8 then?
So,
That's about what time.
If we're out
Here's the signature for
Thank you.
that contract for the CI, construction inspection.
you know,
See you guys.
does he need to sign that too?
Well, if you're gonna review it, we'll leave it
No,
unsigned.
I'm not. Don't hold it up for me. I'm gonna
Okay.
look, but I don't think there's any issues. I'm comfortable with them. I'm comfortable. So if that needs to be signed too, we can do it.
That needs to be signed.
Do we need a motion on this thing?
You probably better.
So moved.
Yeah, it's a motion on, what is it, approving
That is the construction inspection contract
for South.
for South Market in the amount of $682,027.52.
You made a motion, did you second it?
Yeah, second, yeah.
All in favor?
Guess the bright side is only 20% is our cost. If there is such a bright side.
It looks like the council has to, I mean, it
Lots
says
of lines.
Town of Rockville Council, so.
Well, we got a majority, by golly, we can do this, can't we?
Yep.
Uh,
Want to make a motion to pay these, I think my agenda went with that.
Oh,
Oh,
To square up the,
you got that. There's that.
For the pool.
for the
Yeah.
pool, so she doesn't have any
You gotta
paperwork
sign
on
the
it,
back
but
page
just
here.
in case
looks
she
like. ERC.
gets it, I'm gonna make a
Sorry,
motion
back
I'd like to do that.
for her to pay that. So,
Second.
can I get a second?
Sa-
All in favor?
Aye.
UMAC's not here tonight, so.
No,
Okay,
Troy
old
wasn't
business.
able to make it.
He didn't go over there too, did he?
Did you touch on, did
Go
you want
where?
to leave that on the?
No,
agenda?
he's got there.
That's a new business.
Yeah.
He says we're gonna be.
Let me tell me
waiting
what
next Monday.
Johnny Black.
I think we'll wait till our next meeting for that.
Oh, I
So
saw, I
keep
heard,
that
I
on
saw
the
something about
agenda.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colin had something, Dave.
Do what?
Colin had
I
something.
was told that this was gonna be brought up this meeting. I'm losing revenue on that. Can we get something done as far as getting that going?
On,
I've got multiple businesses here in town. I'm trying this short-term rental to get it back open.
on your electric?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You're
I
with
mean,
that
you guys
place,
up to
yeah.
speed on that?
No. I don't think so.
I didn't, Brandy didn't leave me any.
Okay.
So we had a leg drop off the service on a pole that's not on my property. It smoked, brand new fridge, brand new stove, anything
Okay.
that was 220 power, because the service was dropped outside the home.
Okay, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Well, where are we at?
Well, I talked to Brandy, this has been going on for 3 weeks now. The house is ready. I have
Okay.
to put new appliances in it. So, is there gonna be compensation for that?
Oh, okay, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick's been
where's Nick?
informed, Nick's got the paperwork on it, I talked to him, I talked to Brandy, I know she's out of town, but.
Yeah, last I knew, we kicked it over to legal counsel, you know, what's our obligations here, what should we do?
Did he ever
Where'd he
respond?
go?
So,
Where'd he go?
I had a
Marshall.
ball game, so.
Marshall?
Marshall.
Did you say the tree was or wasn't on your property?
It is not,
It's not on your property?
no, sir.
It's my understanding that you're willing to go halves on this, I mean.
I need some kind of answer. Like I said, I'm losing revenue. You know, July 4th weekend would have been a good weekend. We had it pre-booked, and I had to cancel.
Well, I mean,
That's pillow tax, that's revenue for the town, that's revenue for other businesses.
well, I'd say with the tree not being on your property, you're willing to go halves. I'm good with that. It's whatever you guys think.
Yeah, the numbers are there. We've got, and I'm not upgrading anything. I'm not going fancy. We're not doing stainless steel. I just want usable appliances put back in there.
Wish Nick had weighed in before he left.
How much well, it doesn't matter, how much, it is what it is, but, yeah. Just to get the darn thing resolved, I tend to go with Dave over there and just get it done, move on down the road. We got plenty of things to discuss.
Was concerned with the precedent,
Well, I know, there's always that darn issue.
Was it covered by insurance?
It's not on my property.
The tree's not.
Yeah, the issue was not on my property, so
But
why
were
should my insurance have to pay for that? I've called in 5 or 6 times about a tree that's laying on a guide wire that if it continues to fall, pulls the service off the back of my house. Nothing has been resolved about that either. I hate to say negligence property, and understand the house sat empty for years and years and years. I've got a lot of money in this property. I've got a lot of revenue that I'm trying to bring to the county. I can't do that. That property is not 100% usable, especially I've got a tenant in there for the weekend and it rips the power off the back of the house. Then what do we do?
Did Nick weigh in at all on that?
Well, I think he said it was our choice. I mean, it was up to
Well, I say
us.
get it done, move on. I've got plenty of things to keep me up at night.
I say we make a motion because she'll have to cut a check for that, so.
Well, what the matter are we talking?
I don't know.
Well, it's about 2,000, something like
It
that.
was 3,100 some change. For that.
Half? We're talking half?
Whatever.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah, anything.
Just let me know so I can move on.
Well, she told me, I mean, you agreed to half, so, I mean,
Yeah.
so half of 31?
Half
Is
is
it?
fine.
Okay. That's all I need to know, so.
Is that a motion, Carl?
Yes, I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. There's some stuff I'm gonna table till the next meeting, so.
Okay.
As far as new business, I mean, we covered a couple of it, some of it, we'll just, I mean, I would rather have a majority or a
Right.
full board here, so. Any comments from the public? Anybody wanna say anything while you're here?
Just the storm board, after we met with Fast Pace, Jeff, I neglected to call you, I'm sorry. Dr. Walt sent an email to Will at Fast Pace expressing about the detention area on the property, possibly some sidewalks being added along Burke Street. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Maybe not in our purview, but we did mention it in that email. Anyway, they did contact me for whatever reason, and I talked to a guy named Will. The detention pond is a go. He didn't mention the sidewalk. I did point out that he probably should contact Jeff, because I think at that meeting, who's the water guy, Jeff? Keith?
Yeah, Tony is with the water department, but Keith is in charge of ops.
Anyway,
So be Keith.
he had mentioned that perhaps the basins need to be deeper, rock bottom, blah, 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 and he please
I don't-
contact the town about that.
I know after you guys had that meeting, Cindy was down there.
Yeah.
Her and I met and talked about either changing some ordinances or looking into it. Luke touched on it this evening a little bit. But yeah, we definitely need to do that to make sure if people are developing in the town, that they're doing what we like. Especially with this Dollar General issue, and I hate to be blunt about it, but they have a trash issue, and it aggravates the hell out of me. It really does. And I want to write up something in an ordinance that says that, you know, you got to keep your property somewhat in shape when it comes to trash.
And then keep the ordinance in the file so we can find it.
Yeah. Yep.
I think-
Well,
Good
it's supposed to
idea,
be on the
Ken.
internet, so, yeah.
Again, the detention pond, the cheap way for me to do it, again, not retention. Retention implies fish and cattails and all that. Detention would hold the water in that open area. And again, I think, touch on what Luke said, to have somebody else help keep track, because there's supposed to be detention pond at the apartment, South Market. And Jeff doesn't know, you guys don't know. It just evaporated into thin air.
Well,
So who's reviewing that plan to allow that? So I'm on board with him that needs to be formed or something, take maybe the load off you, take the load off Jeff, whatever, that people can review these plans.
Right.
No, I believe that was killed through the county, if I'm not mistaken, so.
I don't know.
I don't know how it was done, but it was done, so.
But how come you don't know why it was done?
Well, because it's not a full-time job for us, I guess, Kev, for lack of a better answer.
I think that's a cop out in the park.
Well, it's reality. I mean, we don't do this. We don't do this 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. The good news, Kevin, we have a fellow by the name of Josh Sorrells that has gotten involved.
It inspects foundations and trusses.
Well, we're talking to him about some other, perhaps. I mean, we got to have someone to bird dog this stuff.
I think, like I said, with Luke, but again, it just a major part of that project.
Yeah.
You know, everybody blames on Greg Warren, but I think Greg.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Nobody does. Can't get an answer.
Anyway, that's all I had about stormwater.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
As long as you're mentioning the housing project, they need some more dumpsters there. They've got trash overflowing the dumpsters.
Already?
It's got, oh, yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
everybody moving in boxes and.
Oh,
you know.
I mean, it's laying on the ground. It's working its way down, so.
Randy?
It looked like on the south side of the parking lot, they built fencing areas to put in new dumpsters, but they haven't arrived yet.
Okay.
Or they need to have more frequent
And I wondered if
pickups.
they're Right. I don't know if they're, the dumpster they have over by the community center was for the construction phase or what, but they do need dumpsters.
Okay, who's gonna follow this up?
You got a phone number for the company? I'll call.
Cindy's got the name and number for the woman.
We've got it up there on a sticky note.
On site manager.
So basically, there's an on-site property manager, is
Yeah.
there not? So that'd be the first person that needs to be contacted. Okay. I got a pile of stuff here from Structure Point. This is all came in into last week. We have, what are these things? Basically, process payment, documentation is attached. It wasn't in the claims tonight. We won't have claims again until 2 weeks from tonight. My question is to, I guess, you two. I mean, and I wish Nick was here again. If we go ahead and approve these, I mean, for payment, that means we can legally cut checks before the next meeting, get these things back out, I guess. I'm just wanting to keep the paperwork going here. We've got several parcels here. I mean, what's your thoughts, David?
We don't have any choice. We have to pay them.
Well, we're going to,
That's the problem.
we have parcels 20. Well, you have them on the,
Yeah, 20, 25, 3, 6, 11.
yeah. So we have all this stuff that I would make a motion that we approve the payment of these for these parcels on South Market, and that way the town can or the clerk treasurer's office can continue
Yeah,
the
we might as
process.
well spend federal money instead of ours. So.
Well, there you go. Spend it while we
Second
can. Okay.
All in favor?
All right. So I don't think there's anything here for you to sign, David. This is all clerk treasurer stuff.
If there is, she'll find it.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Okay.
So, anybody else want? The floor is yours. If you got something to say, Chris.
I'd like to offer for the next meeting, considering repairing the sidewalks from, was it College Street to Michigan?
From where?
College Street to Michigan on 36. Is a possibility? Something just on the table.
I'm sure, I don't know where our funds are at in the sidewalk.
You're talking on 36?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a sidewalk fund.
Well,
One issue we have doing anything on 36 will be, we have to deal with the DOT, and, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff we have to go through to do. I mean, to even replace one panel. I mean, I'm being serious. I've looked into it before, so.
I second that we need something done, because it is a hazard for anybody walking, be it whatever age you are. We walk at night, we have flashlights, and we're still going in the yard because the concrete on that, it easily sits this far apart. You have a tree that's not on a resident side, you have it on the easement. That's what's caused the problems mainly. And there's about 3 spots, Chris, is that right there?
Probably.
Yeah, probably about 3 different spots, and it's a big hazard. We go into people's property just to avoid it.
So it's on the east or west side of the road?
It's on the,
On what street?
on the north side.
well, it's on 36.
I
It's
thought you
College
said
to
it was
Michigan.
on between Michigan and College.
Yeah, between Michigan and College on 36.
College doesn't meet Michigan.
Well, no, but the sidewalk between the two.
So the sidewalk on 36 is what
Basically, it's 36 sidewalk, yes.
Yes.
Those are trees that people planted, but yes, the sidewalk is.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's very.
Well, I guess the first thing is I don't know what we can and can't do because of NDOT.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a big can of worms. They're the ones that did all the recent handicap curb work there. Wasn't us. I mean, it is just they came in and did it. Didn't do it too well in some spots, as noted earlier tonight. Well, yeah.
You want to follow up with that tomorrow, Jeff, or the next couple of days, or before the next meeting?
What can
cost estimate on?
Well,
cost estimate, but also with the DOT.
First off, what can we do? Can we go in there?
Right. Yeah, we can do whatever you guys
Well,
want to do.
would it be Susie? Who would you talk to?
NDOT.
Susie?
No, I'll talk to Ed Batty over there. He'll know. It'll probably just be a matter of trying to get permits.
But yeah, they're all the 36 sidewalks. I've been there for years. I see through multiple towns where they've gone in and redone the main street through the town, the sidewalks and the curbs and the road, and yet they'll come through and pave ours. They'll do our handicap ramps, but why haven't they ever came through and did the?
They say our responsibility. Their responsibility ends from the.
Well, I know what that.
From the curb to the curb, everything in between the zeros.
But why do you see these projects? Well, I don't. Maybe I don't know the scope of the projects.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah.
The trees would have to come down.
Oh, trees. Oh boy, we'll get somebody fired up.
The one thing I caution about is, you know, and we've had that discussion before, are sidewalks the property of the owners? Are they their responsibility? Is the liability in with them, begin with
Right.
them?
Yeah,
I mean, because if you're going in and you're repairing sidewalks, you're inheriting that liability. So, again, that's just.
Responsibility lies with the homeowner.
well, I mean, the Barrett law says, I mean, they ultimately are responsible. We can
We can
put it
fix a
in, we
walk
can
and
build
attach
and
the
build
cost
them,
to the
or however
property
you wanna
tax. I
do it.
mean, there's a lot of ways to go. We haven't been very aggressive
Right.
on that.
I mean, well, we need to check into
Yeah.
it, see what the process is. and-
I'll contact Ed tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know because we should come up with a plan. If we can go in there and fix these, we could come up with a plan to address 36 all through
A lot
town.
of towns seem to neglect their sidewalks.
Yeah, but from the depot to uptown's always been. There's been talk recently about well, we have this nice depot, we have walks that really don't connect to uptown.
And throughout the town, our sidewalks they're in bad shape.
Well, but now, be on the positive side, we have more decent sidewalks right now than we've had in decades.
I'm sure.
So there's positive side.
And
Don't beat us up too much.
Well, part of the issue though is because the trees and I love trees. Don't get me wrong.
What?
But the trees are getting so big that they've uprooted the concrete, and so you get the humps and the gaps and things. So, okay, I'll look into it.
I moved to adjourn.
Kevin.
Kevin was wanting to say something.
Oh, Kevin, what?
Hey, there's a remedy for that. We ran into it a lot in the south, where we got a lot of rain, and people planted all these street trees, these developers, these oak trees, these live oaks, these laurel oaks, and on the sidewalks. And what happens is, again, they start busting them up. I'm not sure I remember what the price was this long ago, but basically what we would do is it's called root trimming. And you come in with a trencher, about that wide, and you go on down where that sidewalk is raised up or whatever, and you would just trim that root on that one side down to a certain level. Not all the way down, you want to get the tap roots, all that stuff. And then sometimes we use a piece of metal, put down the hole, but it solves the problem.
Huh.
You
Interesting.
Put the sidewalks back, so
Yeah.
rather than cut down mature trees, which is a horrible thing to do, there's a remedy for it.
Wow, we need to get you on a sidewalk committee.
Okay.
I moved. Put Kevin on. Okay, well, hey, thanks for the input, Kevin. Now I move. Dirt.
Anybody else got anything they want to say though, before we adjourn?
Put both the electric units out at the depot, and come on, guys, you don't need to put more conduit in this because. Come on.
Okay. Thanks for the input. Yeah. Did you move?
I seconded it.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
So, thank y'all.